Now, the jailing of Canadian citizens in China has raised geopolitical tensions between the two countries. Canada's ambassador to China condemned the 11-year sentence.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this decision rendered after a legal process that lacked both fairness and transparency. Our thoughts are with Michael and his family during this difficult time. We've maintained from the beginning that Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig are being detained arbitrarily, and we will continue to call for their immediate release. And we will continue to work tirelessly to secure their freedom.
Well, that was Canada's ambassador to China speaking after Canadian tour organizer Michael Spavor was sentenced to 11 years in prison. He stood accused of stealing and providing state secrets to other countries. Now, this comes as lawyers for Huawei's CFO has made a final push for a Canadian court to reject a U.S. extradition request. Now, let's get more on the geopolitical situation with Bloomberg's Asia government editor, Dan Tenkate. So, Dan, how are these cases actually playing out on the geopolitical front?
Yeah, well, Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig were both detained shortly after the Huawei CFO was taken in Canada back in December 2018, and they've been sitting in prison ever since. So today, we finally got the verdict. It's clearly timed by China to coincide with the case going on in Canada. 11 years with leaving it open that he could be deported. So essentially, China is firing the first shot here. And saying, look, we've got this guy, but, the implication is that his fate really depends on what goes on in Canada and whether the Huawei CFO is actually released or extradited to America.
Dan, meanwhile, China's anti-graft watchdog has called for curbs on business drinking. Where does that end up?
Yeah, that's part of China's wider crackdown on vice stocks, that we've seen lately. Every sector that gets criticized in state-run media has been really slaughtered recently in the markets. And, so investors are kind of hanging on every little word that comes out. This came out from China's anti-graft watchdog. And it took a toll on stocks today. Whether it will have a wider impact remains to be seen. This is already a heavily regulated industry. So analysts aren't too concerned that this will lead to much more. But obviously, anything that comes under the gun or under the spotlight in China is cause for worry for investors.